Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Wow, thanks. I'm the last, and I appreciate that everyone stuck out for this. So I'm going to tell you about a story about a project located in Niger in West Africa. I'm the CEO of the company. I'm a geologist by training. I'm Canadian, but actually live in Zurich in Switzerland. And I was approached about a year ago about Sahel mining. Sahel is a private UK-listed company. It's been solely funded by a couple of high net worth individuals based in London. And we've been working over the last year to be able to basically get to this point where we can come and start to tell investors about what we're up to. The project itself is located in the northeast corner of Niger. It's a part of the world that not many people know about as far as gold. And I think this is there a laser pointer on this? Is this?
It won't show on the screen.
It won't show? Okay, all right, no worries. So the project itself is located where the red dot is there. We're about 1,500 kilometers northeast of the capital of Niamey. And the country itself has a very long history of mining. Not many people know about Niger. I mean, there is a couple of uranium companies here, so people are familiar with regards to the fact that Niger has a very long history of mining in the uranium sector, but not many people know about Niger as far as gold. And that's simply because until 2014, not a lot of people there wasn't actually any gold in this part of the world. The story here, and I'll show you mostly pictures. I'm not going to get into some really detailed geological slides, but I kind of want to tell the story about why I got involved in this company. And it's namely in the area in the northeast corner called the Djado Goldfield. And what happened here, in 2014, an individual walked out of the desert with a big heavy rock, and he asked a local geologist what it was, and it turned out to be a gold nugget. This resulted in, over the next 3 years, some 15,000 miners descended into the center of the Sahara, set up a number of large camps, and some of them were quite sophisticated, using dozers and excavators, using metal detectors. Some of these guys, as you can see here, would just basically move the surface bedrock around. They would use metal detectors to find nuggets. Some of the guys were much more simple. In this case here, I'm actually just going to zoom in on one of these guys. 2 guys, a shovel, a screen, and most of these guys are recovering between 30 and 40 grams of gold a day just by surface sampling and grabbing the material and the bigger nuggets, which, as you can see, some of them are quite coarse, fine, but these guys spent 3 years, and the story is, and from a couple of independent sources, over that 3 years, they recovered between 2 and 2.5 million ounces of gold out of the surface material from the desert. Very interestingly, just before I got involved in this company, there was a Canadian consulting group that was asked to go and do an assessment of the project. They came back with a number of samples, including, as you can see on the right, some really nice rocks with some very visible and high-grade gold, obviously. But at the end of the day, there's been no modern exploration done on this project at this point. No one really understood why there was a big gold district in the center of the Sahara. And it's something that's never really been explored. And this is the point where I became involved. So I came back, I assessed this new gold fields in the northeast. And what I did is that I contracted SRK out of Cardiff in mid last year. And what we did is that we basically, this map, which, I mean, I'm not going to go through every detail on this map, but what it's showing, and the way that we did this is that we were able to acquire all the high-resolution satellite imagery from this project that was collected in early 2018. And what we did is that we basically spent 7 months and assessed each of the individual targets on this property. And we were able to map all the favorable geology, we understand all the structural information, and very importantly, we were able to quantify the extent of the artisanal workings. And everything on this map in red is the extent of the artisanal workings. And just for some scale, this black outline, those are our permit boundaries. That's around 3,000 square kilometers. And the blue line is a line that's 115 kilometers. So it's about 70 miles of strike length of this property, in which we've got artisanal workings over almost all of it. What the plan is right now is that this is actually just an image that shows some of the detailed artisanal workings on the right-hand side. Those are actually dozer trenches that we have been able to map from our satellite imagery. And this was able to give me the comfort that I understood that there was a large enough amount of work done in the desert in which we could actually I could actually comfortably say that it's reasonable that these guys had recovered a couple million ounces of gold from the surface material. I'm not going to get into that. It's a little difficult to see. So just in summary, the private investors have invested approximately $2 million US to date. There's a large land package. SRK has been doing all of our independent work. Daniel Fox-Davies, who's here with me today, and I are working right now on a pre-IPO financing round. The company has got a target to do around 10 to 12 months of field work with a $7 to $10 million financing that we're doing right now. And we've also put into consideration for doing an IPO in mid-2020. And that basically, in summary, is Sahel. Thank you
very much.